Now, sperren, anyone knows what sperren means and can give me an example? Sperren, of course, these are verbs. Most of you have a bank accounts, and I believe many of you are from India. When you receive bank account statement from, from an Indian bank, can I open that, the statement? If you just forward me that email, can I open that statement? Of course, I cannot because the file is,
Password
Password
protected.
protected.
yes, or in a way it is locked, right? So it is locked. So sperren means to lock, okay? Because when I get that, I get that file, and before I can read it, ich muss die Datei entsperren. Okay, ich muss die Datei entsperren. So what do you think entsperren means? Unlock. Okay, yeah, sperren, entsperren. Okay, uh, this is how, when you learn a verb, learn the antonym as well. Just few examples. Uh, how do I say this? I start the PowerPoint presentation. How do I say this, guys? To start the presentation.
Ich fange die PowerPoint Präsentation an.
When you use anfangen, you cannot use an object. So don't you cannot use.
Ich beginne.
Yeah.
Ich starte die
Beginner will be,
PowerPoint-Präsentation.
like to begin, like you're not beginning. So starten will be much more correct. Okay.
Okay.
But you can actually use anfangen. But the thing with anfangen is, right, if you really want to use an object, you will have to use the preposition mit. So mit means with, so if you want to say ich fange blah blah an, I begin, then you want to say I begin with, mit the PowerPoint presentation, but after mit whatever comes, it has to be dative, so the becomes there. Okay, this is called as, like verben mit prepo. This is higher levels, but just so that you know, preposits. Like you have to learn these verbs with prepositions, so that you can express more. So ich fange mit der PowerPoint presentation. But like really, at least in my professional circle, no one, will say all this. All I will say is ich fange mit der Prezi an. In fact, today in the morning I had a presentation, and I all I said is that ich fange mit der Prezi an. Okay, I did not say ich starte die Prezi. Because I also feel anfangen is much more correct. But when you use anfangen, you have to use the preposition mit. Okay, I hope that explains. Any questions, please ask, because I believe I speak a little bit faster than normal. So, you can just say Prezi. Don't do it in exam. Exam, it's not right. In real life, it's fine. I share my screen, of course, before I start the present. I mean, I start and then I have to share my screen, right, so that they can see my presentation. How do I say I share? Even now, you all have joined this call. If you want to share something, if you go there, you can learn this verb. You all have joined using Google Meet. You can just go and check, how to what is that button called to share. No one is doing that. Okay, so freigeben is the verb share. Okay, now in this scenario, yes, freigeben, but share can be used in other scenarios as well. Like to share a chocolate with someone. Okay, so there share you cannot say freigeben. There you will have to say teilen or something else. Okay, or aufteilen. Any questions? What I'm saying? So freigeben is you should use share when it comes to like sharing screen online. Any questions? No questions. So you can also say, instead of saying freigeben, you can just say sharen. That's also fine. I get notifications, when I, for example, many of you write in the chat, or you give some reaction. So I get notifications about that, right? How do you say to get something? Come on, how do you say to get? Really? Rishabh, you don't know how to say to get?
Erhalten?
Yeah, what else? And how do you say notifications?
No idea.
Meldungen, or you can just say notifications. So ich erhalte Benachrichtigungen or notifications or Meldungen. Okay. You can say bekommen as well, kriegen as well, but don't use kriegen unless and until someone else is using it, because kriegen is very informal. Okay, it's not something, bad language. It's just that it's very informal. It's very colloquial. So don't use if other guys are using it in your circle. Okay, so I will never use kriegen in front of my boss unless and until he uses it first. Okay, yeah,
So be common also get.
yeah. It also means to get. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
common. Okay.
Now, how do I say this one? The participants want to join the meeting. Okay, how do I say want to? How do I
Will
say
Die Teilnehmer müssten die Gruppe
okay?
one.
Uh, Again, here this is. I mean, I should not have used this example, but here to say to join, to take part in something, you have to use the verb teilnehmen. Okay, so the Teilnehmer möchten teilnehmen. The participants want to take part or want to join. Now, join what or take part in what? You have to use the preposition an. Again, this is like B1 level, but at least you should know the verb teilnehmen. Yes, please ask. You have raised your hand.
Instead of möchten, I mean, I understand why we have used möchten, but why can't we use wollen here?
You can use wollen, but wollen is very strong. For example, uh, wollen is you can use. There is nothing wrong with it. But möchten is to me is a little bit polite.
Okay.
If I go to a restaurant, I can say, like ich will ein Pizza, but it's fine if I'm 5 year old. The shopkeeper will say, the guy will say, yeah, yeah, ich gebe dir ein Pizza. But if I'm a grown up guy, I should not, be so demanding. Ich will. I should be like ich möchte. One very extreme way of looking at it, if you have seen this any movie where they talk about kings, and then they never say, do this or do that. They will say, I would like to have this, or something like that. I hope I'm
Mm-hmm.
digressing. So möchten is like lighter version of wollen.
Got it, yes.
Yeah. Or I mean, literally, you should use wollen, but this one will mean, the participants like to join the meeting or would like to join the meeting, or something like that. Hope I answered your question. So you can use wollen. Können you cannot use. Können you can use only if I want to say the participants can join the meeting. Okay. I click. I will skip this one. This is like AP1 level. But what I want you to know is that these sometimes we talk in quotes. Like quotes. So that quotes are called as Anführungszeichen. Okay, I don't know when you use it. I do it sometimes when I'm talking to client or something like that, and I'm quoting someone else, or I'm giving some thumb rule. Then I will say, and I will do this, or I will say unter Anführungszeichen blah blah. Okay, sometimes you also do it, right? I say this quote unquote, something like that. Any questions, please ask. How do I say to ask? To ask.
Fragen.
Fragen, right? Now here, if you give the sentence is very simple, but if you answer this question, that means you have done all the homework. You have to say them. That
Ich
means you
frage
have to.
Sie.
Which one? Please repeat. Risha, please repeat.
Ich frage Sie.
Okay, so small z, so z means they. So here you have to say z in accusative. It remains z only. There is nothing different about it. Can you see my screen? How do I say this? How do I say? Can you see my screen? How do I
Kannst
say?
du,
Können Sie meinen Bildschirm sehen?
Yes. Anyone else with a different answer, like a better answer or some other way to say it? Okay, so kannst du meinen Bildschirm, or I'm being polite, so I'm saying können Sie meinen Bildschirm sehen? They answer yes. How do I say this? Not Rishabh, anyone else?
Sie antworten ja.
Yeah, Sie antworten ja. Uh, Before I go there, okay, there is this antworten, and then we also have beantworten. Can I say beantworten over here? They both mean to answer. Can I say beantworten? Can I say beant?
Beantworten is to reply.
Yes, to not reply. The difference between antworten is,
One is more of a
yeah,
I'm replying you, and other is
yeah.
I think
I
one is
think
more like it's an indirect object kind of like.
I think Rishabh, in your head you are right, but the way you are saying it's wrong. Yeah, but I know in your head you are right. Yeah. So uh, the thing is, uh, antworten again. This is no one is expecting you to know all these things, in A1, but I think you should know it because it's not that difficult to know in A1 only. So they both mean to answer, okay, or to reply, but when you use antworten, the object, like the one who is like on the receiving end, or what you are answering has to be a person. For example, they are like he is answering me, he is answering us. I answer her, I answer him. Here I have the other, the other person on the other side is a person, a living being. Okay, so you have to use antworten. But if I am answering something, I answer a question, I answer a telephone, or I answer an email, or I reply to an email. This is not a living being on the other side, so then it has to be beantworten. Uh, it's not a big deal if you interchange these, but it's good if you know the difference. Any questions about the
There's
difference?
a lot of sorry, but there's a lot of noises.
Yeah, I thought it was from your side.
No, no, I was mute entire time.
Okay, maybe somebody. I think they muted themselves now. Yeah. Any questions?
Just curious to understand, emails and telephones were invented after German came in. What would they have used beyond Wotan for before that?
Uh, so you sent me a letter, right? Uh, Ich habe den Brief. Okay, this is good. So no one ever asked me this, but I would have used Ich habe den Brief geantwortet. So letter is, I think it was there before as well, right? So brief is their brief. Ich habe den Brief geantwortet.
Okay.
Yeah, or so something like that. But having said that, no one is going to like deport you from Germany or anything. People know what you are trying to say. Uh, People, if you use them interchangeably, it's still fine. Okay. The good thing, in German, what I have realized is that not it's not used so used to me now, but it was very used of to me like 6 years ago. I learned this, to say this whenever I'm trying to say when I was trying to say something. you know I learned these two phrases. I think you know what they mean, right? So whenever you're trying to explain something to someone, for example, 2 days ago I went to like I wanted to buy, I don't know, still don't know how to say it right. So I said, something that you wear around your neck and you can also put it over your nose. I just told him, and again he was not. So and I said, "Was ich meine?" Do you know what I mean? And the moment I say it, people really want to understand what I'm trying to say, even though my German is not. I mean, at that moment I cannot pick up the vocabulary, from my brain. So you should use these two phrases like anything. So whenever you are trying to say something, and you don't know if the other person is getting, just say, weißt du, was ich meine? Or wissen Sie, was ich meine? For some reason, people then really want to understand what you're saying. And whatever your level of German is, it will be enough for that particular occasion. Any questions to what I just said? These two phrases. Okay. No questions? Then let's continue. Can you hear me? How do I say, can you hear me? So, can you
Currency
hear?
में currency में है केवल.
How do you, Mia? Why do you say Mia?
Ah,
It's Mish accusative, direct object.
confirm is
Yeah.
yeah.
So können Sie mich hören or kannst du mich hören? The answer no means the antworten nein. I greet the participants. How do you say to greet?
Zustimmen?
Grüße die Teilnehmer.
Yeah, so
Grüßen.
grüßen, yeah, you can say grüßen. I would, so grüßen is right, but I will go with begrüßen. Anyone feels like, like, even if you give wrong answers, but the good thing is if you try, if you give wrong answers, then I will correct you and you remember this forever. You don't have to revise. So, what is the difference between grüßen and begrüßen? No one is going to ask you this in exam, but it's good to know. So, difference. Let's say if someday I become, or let's say, someday you become, one of you becomes the CEO of a big company, and you are, it's a, listed company. That means I can buy your stocks on the market, and every, quarterly you will have this earnings call, right? And you are the CEO of the company. Okay, I don't know if the CEO begins the quarterly call, but somebody has to begin. At that moment, whether will you use grüßen or begrüßen? If you want to say I greet all of the participants in this quarterly call or earnings call, you will not use grüßen, you will use begrüßen. Okay, because grüßen is, you use begrüßen when it is more formal event, when there are many people there, or for example, when there is Christmas. Every company has Christmas, party in December in Germany, and then normally, there is, just before the party begins, people start eating at 6 a.m. dinner. uh, there will be somebody, like the department head or the area head. He will stand up and he will greet everyone, and then he will say ich begrüße euch. Okay, he will say, because begrüßen is you use when there are more people there, it's a formal event. Grüßen is much very close. For example, my supervisor, he also always said, Rohit, ich grüße dich. He did not say begrüßen, he said grüßen, because it's it, it's there are not that many people around. Okay, so I hope, again, I did not give you exact difference, but I hope I was able to tell you what is, when to use which one.
So different. Yeah. So difference is same as like in Danka and Bedanka.
No, that is
Something
something
different.
else. You can compare,
Okay.
but not exactly.
Okay.
Pedankan is a reflexive verb, so it's, you have to use a sich pedankan. You
Okay.
cannot just say pedankan. You have to say ich pedanka mich bei dir. Uh, Anyone else questions? Difference between grüßen and begrüßen. Again, I'm just giving you examples, just few examples. You have to do the homework. When you learn a verb, think, like, are there, for example, grüßen is like, for me it's low order. Begrüßen is higher order. I use begrüßen when I'm greeting a lot many people. And I want to be more formal. Okay. How do I say go through something? I go through the agenda. How do I say go through?
Ich
Durchgehen.
gehe durchgehen.
Durchgehen. How do you say agenda?
Agenda.
Agenda. So ich gehe die Agenda durch. How do you say summarize? How do you say summarize?
Sammelan?
No. What do you read? Karthik, you mean this one?
Ah,
This? No, this means to collect.
okay.
This means to collect. Uh, no one knows. Not good. So summarize means zusammenfassen. Zusammenfassen is a trennbare verb. Zusammen is the prefix which goes at the last position, and you conjugate the rest of the verb. Fassen becomes fasse. Okay, we'll not continue with this. We'll cover the last topic. We'll see if we can. For that, I will have to unshare my screen for 10 seconds because I have to open that file. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, please ask. Any kind of questions about any topic, any session, I will try to answer. Okay, if not, let me share my screen and then we can continue. Sorry. So the last topic for today's session is, this topic is just to, like, so normally I try to demotivate, like I try to make you feel bad, like for not doing homework. But the last topic is I want to make you feel good, so that It's not that difficult to learn German. So let's try to figure out the exact number of German words, nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, pronouns, conjunctions, everything that you need to learn to say everything you do during your day. Everything that you do from morning till the time you go to sleep. Let's try to do the mathematics. Here is the file. So just a head thumbs up so that I know you see some new file titled Fastest Way to Learn German. Thumbs up so that I know you can see it. Thank you. So, there are many ways to learn a language, especially a German language. I think one of the fastest way to learn German is to journal your entire day in the language. Of course, when you're in A1 level, even when you reach C1 level, you cannot actually write everything what you do from morning till the time you hit the bed in German. You cannot do that, but you can try to do it. You can try to write some things. You can try to write the highlights. I wake up, I do work, I eat lunch, and then you can fill in then you can tell me whatever happens between waking up and starting work. You take shower. Before that, you may go for a walk. After shower, you may have breakfast, something like that. uh, and while you do that, you keep improving your grammar and so on. So that is the best way to learn German. Let's try to see how many words will you need if you want to journal your entire day in German language. So uh, in a day you have 24 hours, and I hope you are sleeping for 8 hours. For these, let's consider those 8 sleeping hours. Okay, so for those 8 sleeping hours, I don't need more than 6 words. So I need 4 verbs: schlafen, einschlafen, träumen, ausschlafen, and 2 nouns: der Schlaf, der Traum. Okay, uh, Traum means dream, träumen means true dream, schlafen means to sleep, einschlafen means to fall asleep, ausschlafen means to fall, to sleep well, to sleep completely. Okay, der Schlaf is the sleep. So you need 6 words for the 8 hours of sleeping. Let's talk about the other 16 hours. Okay, so the other 16 hours we'll focus on Monday to Friday, because Saturday, Sunday can be different. But for most of us, at least my Monday to Friday, it's mostly the same. So, assuming a pretty predictable Monday to Friday routine with a new activity, let's say, Monday to Friday, every 30 seconds. Now I'm being very dynamic. I'm saying every 30 seconds, you do a new thing. So, every 30 seconds, you need a new sentence to describe what happened in that sentence, right? That means 30 seconds means 2 sentences every minute, 120 sentences every hour, 2 times 60, and then 1920 sentences every day, because 120 times 16 will be 1920. Okay, I hope I'm making sense so far. So you need 1920 sentences to describe your entire day, apart from the sleeping part. Okay, sentences, not words. Let's say every sentence that you write, it has a verb, it has a noun, it has an adjective, and it has an adverb. Okay, I'm saying you use both. Okay, uh, that means you need 1920 verbs, 1920 adjectives, 1920 adverbs, 1920 nouns. Also, we just learned conjunctions today, and then there are prepositions, and then there can be question words, for example, where, wann, wie, some other words. Let's add a round figure of 1,000 extra words to take care of these words. Okay, uh, there are some engineers in this call, so they will know what I mean by factor of safety. You have to add a factor of safety, right? So so you have to learn all these words. Let's multiply that by 1.3. Okay, let's add 30% more words. At the end, if you do all the calculation, you will end up with 9,498 words. Okay, I hope my math is not wrong. If wrong, please let me know. So now this is less than 10,000 words. Now you may say, oh, 10,000 words is a lot. It's not a lot. If you do 50 words every day, 50 words, it's not that much every day. Within 6 months, you will have enough word, all the vocabulary. And now I'm saying, this is the vocabulary that you need if you want to describe your entire day in German. Most of us don't need to describe our entire day. If we can just describe our work life, or like parts of our work life, when you talk to a boss, something like that, that is enough. So I'm saying you will not even need 10,000 words. You will need less than that. But okay, this was, I think, a LinkedIn post. So Uh, yeah, let's ignore that. So, uh, I hope I was able to, make it German language learning a little bit easier for you. So it's not that complicated, if you just learn for 6 months consistently. I keep saying German language has vocabulary, grammar, and rhythm. Vocabulary you have to learn. You have to, do it. Now, don't just go and buy a vocabulary notebook or like download some file. Learn vocabulary for your life. For example, I will be honest with you. Not, I what I'm learning right now is I'm learning vocabulary for Microsoft Fabric. Okay, so this is some tool that I'm working with, and I believe that I will have to work with clients on these, and I have to learn the vocabulary. Okay, for me, the again, this is in English, but I'm learning it in German. That's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so you can also do it. Okay, any questions? Any questions? If there are no more questions, it's 8:30. We can end the session. Yeah. Any questions, guys? Okay. Any questions about the upcoming A2 sessions? Okay. Two
Yes.
questions. Yeah.
No, no, sorry. I have a question about the A2 sessions.
Yeah.
Can you just give a little bit hint about when you plan to start?
Yeah. It's already. I mean, I did not see the form. It's starting next week or like 29th Feb.
29th Feb.
Yeah. It's
So
starting
does that
on.
mean that we will be completing A1 by next week?
Yeah. Yeah. Because only two. Mm, Yes, I think this was the someone had. I think this was the 11th session, not the 10th session, right? If I'm not wrong. So this was the 11th session, and we'll have one more session next week, and then we'll on Thursday we'll start with. So Monday we'll have one more A1 session. After that we'll start with A2. Yeah,
I have a request to make.
yeah.
Is it possible to start A2 from next Monday instead of coming Thursday?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think it's not a big deal. I will. I mean, for me, it's fine. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, if
If
you make
other
this,
also
if you
agree.
make this request, I mean, I don't. For me, like even if one person shows up, I will continue because I want to do it at least for 2 years. But if you make a request, please show up in the session. If you don't show up, it's fine. I might hold some grudge against you for 1 hour and then I'll forget. But if you say this, please show up. Okay.
Yes, and what are the timings that everybody has decided on?
I still have to check. It's 50-50, but I will have to ask again because people register and then they say like then they say that they want to join in the evening, but they don't even join the group. It's 50-50 for now. Let me check. Can do it right now. Let me unshare my screen for 1 second and I can show you the results. 1 second. Where are the results? Yeah, Karthikeyan, evening will be fine, but thing is, in the evening, I really don't want to do anything apart from like sitting on my sofa and watching some random documentary. uh, Let me share my screen and then I can show you the results. But we'll do evening if others want evening. So this is the result. 47% people want it in the evening, I believe. This is the like 47 are fine with the current schedule and
I,
45 will be.
I think I think you said in the Google form, if the majority people said if it's in the morning, then it's gonna be in the morning, right?
Yeah, Rishabh, no, it's good for you. But people in Germany, they don't want to wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, we'll have to check. We'll have to check. Yeah, I'll ask in the group. I'll ask very directly. Only I will ask for one more time. Like when do they want to join in the morning or in the evening, and we'll go with that. Yeah, I prefer morning because then in the evening I can do whatever I want. But we'll go with the majority. Not this majority. We will ask in the group. Any more questions? If not, then just one last request. Uh, you may have seen the form for this town hall, right? I don't think you are eligible for this, but if you know people who have done B1, or B2 or C1, they can join this. This will be most of the work will be done by the participants. It means every week they have to write a 5-minute long essay and I will make sure that they keep writing about the same topic, a topic which is of relevance to them. Maybe their professional, some topic from their, for example, cybersecurity or data engineering or robotics or whatever they want, and they have to keep presenting. If you know someone who has done B1 and wants some complementary practice, they can sign up for this one. Again, it's also complimentary, so you can tell them about this. The form is there in the group. Any more questions about A2 sessions? To answer that question from D, we will shift it to Monday. I don't have any problem with that. We'll shift it to
Thanks.
Monday.
It's just that I would prefer to revise once before I move on to A2 and hence that
Okay,
extra
okay.
time.
Yeah, you can do it. No problem. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll move it to. That's fine. Yeah. About that thing, I will move it to A2, but you don't have to show up. I just said it. And we
Hmm.
all have some things. Yeah. So, yes. Any more questions about A2? Any more questions? No more questions then.
Okay.
I'll,
Actually, I am joining this session from India. So early morning will be like it will be too early from India side, right? So maybe if it is
no, no.
fine
Our
for
early
you to
morning is
get
good for you because when I say early morning, I say 7. For
okay.
you, it will be 11:30 or 10:30. So for you, it's not early
Ah,
morning.
then it's fine. Then it's fine.
Yeah, but I I'm biased towards people in Germany. Yeah, so I'll go with what
But
I mean. Of
sometimes
course,
it is like the office hours also, in
yeah,
India.
yeah.
So that's the
Also for
thing.
me, also for me, I also have a work. Yeah. Otherwise, my boss will say, I'm paying you, and what are you doing here for free? Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? If no more
Any
questions,
house of Gaba for today?
uh, House of Kaba is the same. I discussed like so. Conjunctions. As I said, you learn the meaning. If you don't practice them in English, in school, we had this. We had exercises. The teacher used to give a phrase, and they used to say, or they used to give us a verb and like write 10 sentences using this thing, and that's what you have to do here as well. Write 10 sentences or whatever you think you can using these conjunctions. Now the thing is, what will you write? That is where this advice or suggestion comes into picture. Write about your day. you know Write about your day and see where you can put in your use these conjunctions when describing your day. I hope that answers your question. And other homework will be discussed like uh, when you learn a verb, learn antonym, learn synonym, learn 1 degree higher, 1 degree lower, stuff like that. Okay.
Okay, fine. Thanks.
Yeah, most welcome. More questions? If no more questions, I'll count from 10 to 1. I will end the call. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.